Hi guys, it's Jamie. I'm back again. Football Heaven 24/7. Got me retro Forest top on from the 95-96 season. Stuart Pearce on the back, legend. Right, anyway, look, I'm going to concentrate on the European football today, covering the leagues in Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. What the latest is going on in those leagues at the moment. So last week, Union Berlin were top of the Bundesliga, the top league in Germany. But they're now overtaken. They're now lying in third, thanks to the fact that Bayer Leverkusen have started to get their act together after a really poor start to the season, and they moved away from the relegation zone in the Bundesliga by absolutely smashing Union Berlin 5-0. Got to remember, like I say, Union Berlin were top at the start of the day. But yeah, Bayer Leverkusen won 5-0. Goals from Andrich, two from Diaby, one from Hosleck and one from Bakker, gave them a convincing victory, and that helped them, like I say, to move away from the relegation zone. But for Union Berlin, they dropped down to third. Bayern Munich continued to do their good start to the season. They won 3-2 away at Hertha Berlin, and that pushed them to the top of the table. In their game, it was goals from Musiala and two from Choupo-Moting, took them to that 3-2 victory. So Bayern are now top. Freiburg also played at the weekend, and they finished there in second at the moment, thanks to a 2-0 win over Cologne. And yeah, looking at the rest of the results, Dortmund beat Bochum 3-0. Hoffenheim lost 3-1 at home to RB Leipzig. Mainz lost 3-0 at home to Wolfsburg. Werder Bremen won 2-1 against Schalke. And yeah, that's all the results for the weekend in Germany. So looking at the table, like I say, Bayern Munich are top on 28 points. Second is Freiburg with 27 points. Union Berlin in third with 26 points. Borussia Dortmund in fourth with 25. Relegation zone in Germany, it's Stuttgart, Bochum and Schalke right at the bottom of the table. So that's what's going on in the German league. Jumping into the French league, no surprises, PSG are still top. PSG were away at Lyon at the weekend. They got a narrow 2-1 win thanks to goals from Neymar and Pereira. That keeps them at the top of the table. They're 5 points clear now of RC Lens, who got a 2-1 victory away at Angers as well. And then Rennes are lying in third in the French league, but they only managed a 1-1 draw. But it's still a good point, to be fair, 1-1 draw away at Lille. So they're lying in third. And in fourth in the French league is Marseille, who narrowly won 1-0 at home to Lyon. So that was a crucial game for them to win. So that's the top four. Like I say, PSG at the top, Lens, Rennes, and Marseille. At Lens is the Old Forest goalkeeper Bryce Samba, so he's having a really good season. Can they topple PSG? Probably not. PSG have got by far the most money to spend and by far the best players in that league. It's a bit of a non-event most seasons in the French league, to be fair. Talking of other non-events, going into the Spanish league. Oh no, we'll look at the other scores, should I say, in the French league before we jump onto the Spanish league. JC won 4-2 at home to Strasbourg. Clement Foot drew 1-1 with Montpellier at home. Nice beat Brest 1-0. Reims beat Nantes 1-0. And Monaco won 2-0 away at Toulouse. So that's all the games in the French league. In the relegation zone in the French league, you've got Strasbourg, Brest, Angers, and Ajaccio. So they're the four teams in the relegation zone. Going into the Spanish league, as always, it's between Barcelona and Real Madrid pretty much every season. Occasionally, Atletico Madrid have got up there in the last sort of 10 years. Barcelona, they cemented their place at the top. They was the first to play at the weekend, and they played at home to Almeria, and they won 2-0, goals from Dembele and De Jong. Kept them at the top of the table. Later on Monday, actually, just gone, Real Vallecano caused a shock result against Real Madrid. They came from 2-1 down to win 3-2 in that game. They took the lead early on as well. So good win for Real Vallecano. Basically keeps Real Madrid 2 points away from Barcelona and stops them being able to leapfrog Barcelona like many people would have expected. So Barcelona got that 2 point advantage. So not too bad for Barcelona. They need to win the title. They need to do well in the Champions League, which they didn't do this season. Now they're relying on the Europa League and a playoff against Manchester United to get any chance of extra silverware outside of the Spanish silverware that might be able to get hold of. They need to have a good season because of the financial problems they've had over the last few years. Build the money back up, get themselves back to the level that they were when Messi was doing all his good stuff there for them. So who knows? Messi might come back. PSG, he's done all right, but he's not nowhere near on the form he was when he was at Barcelona. So looking at other results outside of those top two teams in the Spanish league, Celta Vigo lost 2-1 at home to Osasuna. Getafe drew 0-0 with Cadiz. Valladolid won 2-1 over Elche. Atletico Madrid drew 1-0 with Espanyol. Real Betis drew 1-0 with Seville. And Real Sociedad drew 1-0 with Valencia. And Villarreal lost 2-0 at home to Mallorca. So looking at the table in Spain, it's Barcelona at the top with 34 points. Real Madrid in second with 32. Atletico Madrid quite far behind. You're looking at 8-point gap behind with 24 points. And also behind in fourth position in the last Champions League place in Spain is Real Betis with 24. Osasuna should get a mention as well. They're having a fantastic season, much like Union Berlin in the German league up until this weekend's game. They're lying in fifth. They've had a good, like I say, they got a good win at the weekend away at Celta Vigo. So they're having a good season. But down in the bottom three in the Spanish league, it's Celta Vigo, Cadiz, and Elche. Celta Vigo, I don't know if I was sure that Celta Vigo would be down there at the start of the season. Elche and Cadiz, pretty much because they are quite small teams in Spain. So, that's what's going on in the Spanish league. Finally going into the Italian league. Napoli were top at the start of the weekend, and that's where they've remained after having a 2-1 victory away at Atalanta. Osimhen and Elmas scored for Napoli to make that a 2-1 victory. AC Milan kept up their sort of a bit of a challenge. They're still 6 points behind Napoli in second. They won 2-1 at home to Spezia. Goals in their game from Hernandez and Olivier Giroud, former Arsenal player. Empoli won 1-0 against Sassuolo. Salernitano drew 2-0 with Cremonese. Bologna beat Torino 2-1. Juventus continue a little bit of a mini revival, beating Inter Milan 2-0. Monza got a crucial 2-0 victory over Verona to keep them away from the relegation zone. And in the Rome derby between Roma and Lazio, Jose Mourinho will not be happy because his Roma team lost that one narrowly 1-0. Thanks to former West Ham player Felipe Anderson getting on the score sheet for Lazio. So that's what's going on in that game. That was probably the biggest game of the weekend in the Italian league, the Rome derby. Lazio got the bragging rights. Lazio were above Roma in the table. Lazio were actually in third after that. Atalanta in fourth. Juventus are in fifth. And Roma are lying in sixth. So Marino's not doing that good a job at Roma, even though he did win the Conference League from last season. But it's pretty tight, to be fair, between the teams from third down to where Roma are in sixth. There's only a 2-point gap, so it's all to play for to get in the Champions League. And even Roma, who's had a pretty poor start to the season, are only 3 points off getting into the Champions League. So it's really, really tight in the Spanish league. Napoli, though, still look like they're running away with the Serie A title. But as we know, after next weekend's fixtures, all those four divisions include, and also the Premier League and many other divisions around the world, obviously, will be put on pause for a month because of the World Cup, which is starting on the 20th of November, as a lot of us already know. Yeah, my predictions for the World Cup. I'm going to talk about the World Cup with it coming up very soon. In my mind, it's a toss-up between possibly Brazil or Holland, in my opinion. I know some of my mates are going for Argentina. Obviously, others have gone for Brazil. One or two going for England. I don't think we're going to get to the final. I think at best we'll get to the semi-final. I don't mean that to be pessimistic, just to be realistic. I can't really see, if things go according to plan, as you would predict from the seedings, England should play Senegal in the second round in the last 16. I personally think that that'll be a tough game because Sadio Mane obviously plays for Senegal, along with many other good players. But I think England probably would get through that. But in the quarterfinals, it's debatable because they're going to start facing some tough teams after that. So we'll see what happens. It'd be interesting to see. But my prediction for the World Cup, I'm going to stick my neck on the line. It's not going to be one that many select, but I'm going to go for Holland to win it because purely because I've seen a massive improvement in Holland's form in the qualifiers. They've played against some decent teams in the qualifiers, and they've been quite convincing. And also in friendly games, I know friendlies you can't tell too much, but they've been pretty convincing. England have been pretty shocking. Um, I don't really read much into the Nations League because it's not one that the players probably really care about too much. They're more concerned, obviously, about winning the European Cup and the World Cup. But I still think England will be lucky to get to the semi-finals. Anything beyond that will be an absolute miracle. I think we were a bit lucky. We did do quite well in the European Cup that's just gone the year, but the only reason I feel we did really well is because, well, obviously we've got great individual players, and as a team we played quite well, but a lot of the games were quite boring, apart from the last few knockout games. The group games were really boring. Um, and I feel that we were lucky because we got to play, I think it was 5 games out of the 6 at Wembley on our own home turf. Whereas when we're playing at the World Cup, obviously we're playing away from home. Uh, well, like most of the teams as well, but I think it's going to be a little bit different. So we'll see what happens. It'd be nice to see England do win it, but we always have so much pressure and so much anticipation every year. I just don't think we've got the players that have got the killer instinct to finish off the games and to win. A lot of these players that are playing in the teams have not won much apart from the Manchester City players and one or two of the Liverpool players. The other players are not used to being serial winners, so therefore I feel that um, that mentally and psychologically, when it comes down to finals and semi-finals, I think that always works against them. And when you're looking at other teams, like I say, like the types of Brazil and Holland, they've got players that consistently are winning stuff in top European leagues around, obviously around in the Italian league, the Dutch league, the German league, and in the obviously in the English league. They're consistently winning trophies every year, especially Van Dijk at Liverpool, and a few of the other great players that play for Holland as well. So I'm thinking Holland, Argentina. A shout from me mate down the other day. I think that's a good possibility. I think the favourites going into it are France and Brazil, but I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna go with Holland on that one. Top goal scorer. Thinking through it in my mind, I'm thinking that um, possibly I would go with Mbappe to be the top goal scorer in it. I think that France will possibly go all the way to the final if they don't end up having to meet um, Brazil or somebody like that before that. I can't remember if they have to face that. I'll have to look more into it for the next episode. But like I say, going with Holland, like and subscribe to this channel. I'll keep putting out more content. I'm going to do more concentrate on my team Forest, little episodes as well, talking about past seasons, talking about past players, get all the Forest fans involved in that, and a few other fans who like Forest and like listening about the history. Also going to be talking about other teams and their history, as I've mentioned in previous episodes as well. But for now, have a really good week. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Those that are subscribing and are watching. And like I say, get all your friends and family involved, get on board, and we'll get more into it. And have a great week. Bye for now.